You are undoubtedly familiar with the scenario, those instances when life unfolds serenely, and seemingly from nowhere, an individual delivers a disrespectful remark or an insult that completely takes you by surprise. Perhaps this occurs at your workplace, during the presentation of an idea you have meticulously crafted over several weeks, and your colleague interjects with a sarcastic comment specifically intended to make you appear foolish. Alternatively, it might happen at a family gathering, where a relative, acutely aware of your vulnerabilities, casually critiques your life decisions as though they possess any genuine understanding of your experiences. Consequently, your heart rate accelerates, your face reddens with heat, and your immediate impulse is to retaliate, to defend your position, and to demonstrate that you are not someone to be trifled with. However, allow me to impart a profound lesson I have learned from Stoicism: an emotional reaction signifies a defeat. Indeed, the very instant you permit anger to seize control, you are essentially surrendering your power directly to the person who provoked you. Therefore, maintaining composure is crucial. The esteemed Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius once articulated, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Ponder this statement for a moment. It is a concept that resonates deeply. Reflect on the wisdom inherent in refusing to descend to the level of those who seek to provoke you. It is about maintaining your integrity and not allowing their negativity to define you. This is the true victory. By not reacting, you retain your power and deny them the satisfaction of seeing you upset. This, in turn, allows you to respond in a more thoughtful and strategic manner, if a response is even necessary. Thus, embracing Stoicism in these trying moments can transform potential conflict into an opportunity for personal growth and resilience. When faced with someone deliberately attempting to goad you, striving to diminish your composure and drag you down to their level, what could possibly dishearten them more profoundly than the stark realization that their utterances hold absolutely no sway over your inner tranquility? Believe me, I empathize deeply, having navigated similar turbulent waters myself. In times past, I allowed discourteous individuals to routinely mar my entire day. I would find myself replaying their cutting remarks incessantly, meticulously crafting ingenious retorts hours after the opportune moment for their deployment had long since passed. I would become consumed by self-directed anger for failing to react with greater alacrity, forcefulness, or perspicacity in the immediate aftermath. However, the irrefutable truth remains that succumbing to these emotionally charged reactions did not, in any way, ameliorate my state of being. It only served to leave me feeling more vulnerable and diminished. Because, deep within my core, I recognized that they had achieved precisely what they had sought. They had seized control over my emotional state, my cognitive processes, and, indeed, even my actions. And that realization was far more galling than the initial act of disrespect itself. Subsequently, I encountered the profound wisdom of Stoicism, and it irrevocably transformed my perspective. Stoicism, an ancient and venerable philosophical school of thought, centers on the principle of exercising dominion over one's reactions, rather than attempting to exert control over the external world. It imparts the invaluable lesson that, while one cannot always dictate the unfolding of events or the behavior of others, one possesses absolute and unassailable authority over their own response. Therefore, by embracing Stoic principles, you empower yourself to remain unperturbed in the face of provocation, thereby denying your tormentors the satisfaction of witnessing your emotional distress. This newfound serenity not only safeguards your well-being but also serves as a powerful testament to your inner strength and resilience. Instead of allowing impolite and presumptuous individuals to drag you into a vortex of negativity, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism provides invaluable guidance on maintaining tranquility, self-assurance, and transcendence over their insignificant and childish antics. Therefore, I am about to reveal a potent secret: the next instant someone attempts to treat you with disrespect, refrain from perceiving it as a direct and personal affront. Instead, consider it an examination, a crucible designed to test the mettle of your character. Stoics, those wise thinkers of antiquity, refer to this mental maneuver as reframing, a conscious and deliberate choice to regard each and every challenge that life throws your way as a precious opportunity to cultivate inner fortitude and resilience. Indeed, with each instance of maintaining your composure, your emotional, mental, and even spiritual strength undergoes a significant level up. You showcase to the entire world, and perhaps most importantly to yourself, that your inner sanctuary of peace is not susceptible to being disrupted by external forces or the actions of others. In essence, you become invulnerable, untouchable in the face of negativity. That is precisely the central theme of this presentation today. I intend to unveil practical and exceptionally easy-to-implement responses that will empower you to instantaneously quell disrespectful conduct with grace, composure, and unwavering self-confidence. There will be no shouting matches, no exchange of insults, merely intelligent and well-considered responses deeply rooted in personal strength and unwavering self-control. These responses will be so precise and remarkably powerful that they will leave even the most impolite individuals utterly dumbfounded and at a loss for words. By the time we reach the conclusion of this discourse, you will have acquired a comprehensive toolkit of strategies that will instill in you an overwhelming sense of empowerment the next time someone dares to treat you with disrespect. Imagine the confidence you will exude, knowing you possess the tools to navigate such situations with poise and assurance. You will be equipped to handle disrespect with grace and effectiveness, transforming potentially negative encounters into opportunities for personal growth and self-affirmation. Instead of succumbing to anger, a transformative shift occurs. You discover a profound sense of control. If this prospect resonates deeply, please consider sharing this insight with someone who might derive benefit from it. Furthermore, we encourage you to subscribe to. This will ensure a continuous stream of practical Stoic wisdom, designed to empower you to navigate life with enhanced clarity, unwavering strength, and a clearly defined purpose. Trust me on this, you will absolutely want to remain engaged until the very end. The strategies we are about to unveil possess the potential to fundamentally alter your approach to disrespect. You will be equipped to handle such situations in a manner that not only commands respect but also fosters genuine understanding. Are you now prepared to delve into the specifics? Are you ready to learn precisely how to respond with the measured composure of a Stoic, effectively placing disrespectful individuals firmly in their designated place? Then let's dive right in and unlock these powerful techniques. We all inevitably encounter, in our journey through life, at least one individual who conducts themselves as if their opinion represents the unvarnished, absolute truth. They act as if their perspective is some kind of sacred gift, graciously bestowed upon us, irrespective of our desire to receive it. Perhaps this manifests as a coworker who engages in a perpetual cycle of criticizing your work, seemingly incapable of offering constructive feedback. Or maybe it's a relative who operates under the misguided assumption that they possess a right to dictate aspects of your life, offering unsolicited advice and judgments. It could even be a friend who simply cannot resist sharing judgmental comments regarding your choices, often laced with thinly veiled disapproval. These individuals, unfortunately, often harbor the firm conviction that their opinions wield considerable power over you. And if your experience mirrors my own past, you might even find yourself, at times, inadvertently validating their inflated sense of importance. You might, on occasion, subconsciously believe them. This, however, is precisely where the Stoic approach offers a path towards liberation and empowerment. I have certainly experienced that feeling before. There was a time when I would become genuinely distressed, perhaps even defensive, whenever someone voiced an uninvited, judgmental opinion concerning me or the things I deeply valued. Should an individual criticize my aspirations, my concepts, or the choices I had made, I would instinctively feel compelled to justify my actions, desperately attempting to illustrate the flaws in their reasoning. Consequently, I would dedicate countless hours subsequently, replaying their pronouncements in my mind, questioning my own judgment, and allowing their negativity to gradually erode my self-assurance. It was an utterly draining experience, and what was even more detrimental, it essentially relinquished control over my personal happiness directly into the hands of another person. However, this is the precise juncture where the profound wisdom of Stoicism brought about a complete transformation in my mindset. Stoic philosophers, such as Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, impart to us a principle that is both straightforward and liberating. The opinions held by others lie entirely beyond the realm of your influence and, ultimately, possess no relevance to your personal state of happiness. Marcus Aurelius famously penned the words, "It never ceases to amaze me, we all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Reflect on that for a moment. Why, then, should we permit another's disparaging words to exert influence over our emotional state or the decisions we make, considering that we possess no ability to control their thoughts in any case? This realization is crucial to fostering a sense of inner peace and self-reliance. It encourages us to prioritize our own values and judgments over the often fleeting and subjective perspectives of others, thereby empowering us to live more authentically and with greater contentment. Therefore, understanding and internalizing this Stoic tenet can profoundly impact one's ability to navigate the complexities of social interaction and personal well-being. Having achieved a profound comprehension of this principle, I came to the powerful realization that I was not obligated to offer explanations to anyone. Consequently, I no longer needed to dissipate my valuable energy on futile arguments, endless justifications, or tiresome defenses against the unwelcome judgments of others. This revelation proved particularly useful in various situations. One memorable afternoon at work, I presented an innovative idea upon which I had diligently labored for weeks, meticulously refining it to its current state. A sense of satisfaction, even pride, swelled within me as I unveiled my proposal to the team. However, almost instantaneously upon concluding my presentation, a coworker, whom we shall refer to as Steve, responded with a blatant display of disdain. He smirked derisively and proceeded to openly mock my idea in the presence of the entire team, sarcastically remarking, "Wow, that sounds totally unrealistic. You sure put a lot of thought into that nonsense." The atmosphere in the room immediately became charged with awkward tension. Every single person present glanced in my direction, their eyes filled with anticipation, waiting to witness my reaction. Would I snap under the pressure? Would I crumble into a state of defensiveness? In the past, prior to my newfound understanding, I might have impulsively attempted to prove Steve wrong, inadvertently granting him precisely what he desired, a heated and emotionally charged argument or a flustered and incoherent defense of my work. However, this time, armed with my newfound wisdom, I responded in a completely different manner. Instead of reacting defensively, I deliberately paused, allowing myself a moment to collect my thoughts and regain my composure. I took a slow, calming breath, and then, with a confident smile gracing my lips, I calmly stated, "Steve, you are undoubtedly entitled to your own opinion, and I, in turn, am equally entitled to disregard it." Having delivered this concise and impactful statement, I calmly proceeded with the ongoing conversation as though Steve's disparaging words had never been uttered in the first place. This approach, born from my understanding of personal boundaries and the value of self-respect, allowed me to maintain my composure and continue my professional endeavors unhindered. It was a truly empowering moment. The alteration in the atmosphere was immediate. Steve, quite taken aback, was rendered speechless. He had anticipated a defensive or emotionally charged retort from me. Instead, he encountered indifference, as if he were inconsequential, his negativity stripped of any influence. The discussion progressed constructively, and the esteem within the chamber perceptibly gravitated towards me. This Stoic manner of responding transcends mere cleverness, or even dismissiveness. It is fundamentally about reclaiming your individual authority. It's about serenely establishing distinct emotional parameters and resolutely declining to allow pessimistic individuals to dictate your inner tranquility. Consequently, it serves as a subtle reassurance, to both yourself and all others present, that you are under no compulsion to absorb their viewpoints, particularly when those viewpoints are judgmental, unsupportive, or discourteous. Stoicism furnishes a clear reminder, our inner composure and self-assurance are never contingent upon external endorsement or validation. Others are at liberty to hold their own perspectives, and they are fully entitled to articulate them. However, we perpetually retain absolute dominion over the degree of significance we ascribe to those perspectives. Therefore, by calmly disregarding negativity and maintaining a steadfast focus on your own principles, aspirations, and self-belief, you embody genuine Stoic fortitude. In essence, the power lies within us to choose our response, and Stoicism provides a framework for choosing equanimity and self-possession over reactive engagement. This, in turn, fosters a more respectful and productive environment for all involved. This proactive approach not only protects your peace of mind but also subtly communicates your self-worth and unwavering commitment to your own values. We have all, undoubtedly, crossed paths with that individual who seems to possess an unyielding desire to parade their perceived intellectual prowess, often achieved by belittling or delivering sarcastic barbs aimed at the ideas of others. You recognize the type, don't you? The individual who habitually interrupts conversations mid-sentence, punctuates discussions with dramatic eye rolls, and delivers sarcastic comments that serve less as humor and more as thinly veiled attempts to diminish others. It is almost as though their entire sense of self is intricately woven around the desperate need to appear more intelligent, more accomplished, or simply more significant than anyone else in the room. However, here is a crucial point to consider, especially when dealing with such individuals. Stoicism, that ancient philosophy emphasizing virtue, reason, and self-control, teaches us that such behavior is typically a manifestation of deep-seated insecurity, rather than a genuine reflection of actual superiority. Indeed, it is often those who feel most inadequate who feel the greatest compulsion to tear others down. One of the bedrock principles upon which Stoicism rests is the clear and unwavering recognition of what lies within our sphere of influence, and what remains stubbornly beyond our control. We cannot, for example, dictate how another person chooses to conduct themselves, particularly when their actions are fueled by insecurity or, conversely, by arrogance and inflated ego. These are external factors, outside of our direct command. However, and this is where Stoicism offers a powerful tool, we retain absolute dominion over our own response. We can choose how we react, how we interpret, and how we allow the actions of others to impact our internal state. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, in his timeless meditations, famously penned the words, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Put more plainly, you need not descend to the level of another person, engaging in the same petty tactics or responding with an equal measure of negativity. Do not allow their actions to dictate your own. Instead, maintain your composure, adhere to your principles, and demonstrate the very qualities they seem to lack. In doing so, you not only protect your own peace of mind but also subtly reveal the emptiness and futility of their attempts to undermine you. Thus, Stoicism provides a path to navigate such interactions with grace, dignity, and a profound sense of inner strength. Maintaining your dignity and inner peace, even in challenging situations, is entirely achievable through thoughtful and articulate responses. Thus, instead of reacting impulsively, consider a well-crafted retort. One such example, a phrase like, "If I had $1 for every smart thing you said, I'd be broke," can be incredibly effective. This response is not merely witty, it's a clever parry. It playfully, yet distinctly, conveys that you are completely aware of the other person's underlying motives. Crucially, it achieves this without resorting to direct confrontation. It's a light-hearted method of communicating, both to the individual in question and to any observers, that their negativity has been noticed, but you are actively choosing not to be disturbed or brought down by it. From a Stoic philosophical perspective, this kind of measured response demonstrates significant inner strength. You are consciously refusing to permit another person's attempts to diminish or irritate you to compromise your own emotional equilibrium. You refrain from reacting with anger, defensiveness, or any trace of bitterness. Instead, You project emotional maturity by skillfully utilizing humor and calmness to diffuse what could be a volatile situation. Humor, when wielded with discernment and intention, can be an exceptionally potent instrument. It possesses the ability to not only neutralize negativity, effectively disarming the aggressor, but also to position you as an individual who is self-assured and not easily rattled. This approach underscores your ability to navigate social interactions with grace and poise, further solidifying your own sense of inner control. Therefore, employing humor in this manner showcases a sophisticated understanding of human interaction and a commitment to maintaining one's emotional well-being. Envision a situation, a vivid tableau, where you find yourself elucidating a concept close to your heart, or perhaps sharing a passion that ignites your very soul. It could be a meticulously crafted project into which you've poured boundless energy and unwavering dedication, or maybe a specific interest that resonates deeply within your core being. Inevitably, and with a frustrating degree of predictability, someone interjects, delivering a sarcastic or dismissive remark. This comment, laden with negativity, implies that your cherished idea is somehow deficient in intelligence or inherent value. Instead of succumbing to defensiveness, or allowing the sting of hurt to penetrate your composure, you respond with unwavering calm and an air of unwavering confidence. You deliver the line, "If I had $1 for every smart thing you said, I'd be broke," all the while maintaining a subtle, yet knowing smile. That particular moment, captured in time, can feel incredibly empowering. It serves as a potent demonstration that you possess a clear awareness of their negativity. More importantly, it showcases your conscious decision to not internalize it, to not let their negativity take root within you. The underlying power of this response, firmly rooted in Stoic philosophy, lies in its effortless dismissal of negativity. You're communicating, with remarkable clarity, that you recognize the person's attempt to belittle your idea, or diminish your perceived intelligence. However, you deny them the satisfaction of eliciting a reaction, of disrupting your inner peace. Your tranquility remains unbroken, your sense of self undisturbed, precisely because you are acutely aware that their sarcasm speaks volumes about their own insecurities. Their words reveal far more about their internal landscape than they do about your actual value or inherent worth. Stoicism, as a guiding principle, constantly reminds us that the judgments or insults leveled against us by others hold no authentic impact on our intrinsic worth, unless we, ourselves, grant them that power. Therefore, by embracing this Stoic mindset, we can navigate such encounters with grace, resilience, and an unwavering sense of self-assurance. Adopting this particular mindset is incredibly beneficial. It not only fortifies your emotional resilience, providing a stronger defense against life's inevitable challenges, but it also actively discourages future negativity emanating from others. Consider it a proactive measure for safeguarding your well-being. Over an extended period, individuals who seemingly thrive on sarcasm and belittling comments, those whose conversational weapons are sharp words and condescending remarks, eventually come to realize that their usual tactics simply do not have the desired effect on you. Their barbs bounce harmlessly off your Stoic shield. Consequently, finding their efforts fruitless, they will usually move on to what they perceive as easier targets, individuals more susceptible to their manipulative behaviors. This Stoic practice, characterized by the calm and deliberate deflection of negativity, serves as a powerful protector of your inner peace. By refusing to engage in their toxic games, you maintain a sense of tranquility and control. Therefore, it helps cultivate healthier and more constructive interactions overall. We've all, without a doubt, encountered someone whose entire approach to conversation feels less like a genuine dialogue and more like a combative engagement, a verbal sparring match where the goal is not understanding but domination. You know exactly the type of person I'm talking about, the kind of individual who seems to derive energy and satisfaction from disagreement, who thrives on conflict and discord, and who consistently responds with disrespect or biting sarcasm rather than genuine interest or a desire for understanding. Conversations with such individuals quickly become incredibly exhausting and draining. This is because they rarely engage in a sincere effort to understand your perspective or to find common ground upon which to build a meaningful connection. Instead, they are perpetually on the lookout for an opportunity to escalate the situation, to belittle your opinions, or to provoke an emotional reaction. It is as if their entire sense of self-worth is intrinsically linked to winning arguments, regardless of the significance or even the point of the argument itself. Their need to be right supersedes any desire for genuine connection or mutual understanding, leaving you feeling emotionally depleted and unheard. This need for constant validation through conflict fuels their negative behavior. Stoicism, in this context, presents a remarkably revitalizing viewpoint. Philosophers such as Epictetus underscore the futility of conflict with individuals dedicated to disrespect. It is akin to entering a battle with no prospect of a significant triumph. Epictetus, in his wisdom, famously stated, "Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. He can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by him." Ponder upon this profound statement. Each instance of engagement with someone who flourishes on disrespect signifies a relinquishing of emotional control, empowering them to dictate your tranquility. Therefore, by calmly articulating, "I do not engage in arguments with those who revel in disrespect," you are enacting a potent form of Stoic detachment. This detachment, however, is not indicative of indifference. Rather, it embodies thoughtful disengagement. It is not a retreat from conflict in general. Instead, it is a deliberate selection of battles deemed worthy of engagement. Consequently, you are emphatically asserting that conversations founded upon mutual respect and openness hold intrinsic value. Conversely, interactions solely designed to provoke or disrespect you inherently lack merit. This philosophical approach, I can attest, has effected profound changes in my own life. It has allowed me to conserve emotional energy, and it has helped to create a clearer mind. I have found that by not arguing I have more time to focus on the truly important things in life. In my earlier days, I was often lured into what seemed like never-ending debates, laboring under the illusion that I needed to constantly validate my existence or shield my beliefs from every single detractor. However, the stark reality is that these verbal altercations seldom yielded anything truly constructive or beneficial. Instead, they consistently left me feeling utterly exhausted, profoundly irritated, and deeply frustrated, precisely the emotional state that the other individual was actively attempting to evoke. Eventually, through hard-won experience, I came to the crucial realization that by participating in these unproductive exchanges, I was unwittingly playing directly into their manipulative strategies. Stoicism, with its profound wisdom, illuminated for me that authentic strength doesn't reside in the ephemeral triumph of winning arguments. Rather, it lies in the far more enduring capacity to master one's own emotional responses, safeguard one's inner peace, and judiciously select the most appropriate course of action. Therefore, nowadays, when someone makes a deliberate attempt to drag me into their relentless cycle of negativity or blatant disrespect, I deliberately pause, take a deep, cleansing breath, and then gently, yet unequivocally, assert, I simply do not engage in arguments with individuals who derive pleasure from exhibiting disrespect. By adopting this measured approach, I am unequivocally communicating my personal boundaries, making it abundantly clear that I am fully cognizant of their underlying intention and resolutely refuse to permit them to disrupt my hard-earned internal tranquility. This response often leaves them utterly stunned or rendered speechless, largely because it is patently not the anticipated reaction they were expecting. They are typically accustomed to confrontation, to witnessing others become visibly angered or visibly flustered, thereby feeding their need for drama and control. Thus, my calm and assertive response disarms them and maintains my own peace of mind. When you deliberately opt for a composed, resolute disengagement, it invariably disorients those attempting to provoke a reaction. Embracing this approach, rooted in Stoic philosophy, signifies far more than merely conceding defeat or passively enduring disrespect. Instead, it embodies a conscious and deliberate decision to prioritize your profound emotional well-being above the transient and often illusory gratification derived from prevailing in an argument. This is particularly relevant when engaging with individuals whose convictions remain stubbornly resistant to change. Consequently, it is fundamentally about establishing robust and unambiguous emotional boundaries, thereby actively demonstrating self-respect and diligently safeguarding your inner peace from external disturbances. Furthermore, over the passage of time, this considered response subtly educates others on the manner in which you expect to be treated, fostering a culture of mutual respect and understanding. Individuals who derive a sense of gratification or power from disrespectful conduct eventually begin to perceive that their negativity fails to elicit the desired reaction or the sought-after attention from you. Therefore, they will often either modify their behavior in your presence, adopting a more respectful demeanor, or, alternatively, they will simply gravitate towards someone else who is more susceptible and willing to engage in their cycle of negativity. We have all, at some point in our lives, encountered an individual whose consistently negative attitude serves as a significant impediment to their personal growth and overall happiness. Perhaps it is a coworker who engages in incessant complaining, actively undermining teamwork and fostering a divisive atmosphere within the workplace. Or perhaps it is a friend who, with unwavering consistency, chooses to perceive only the negative aspects of every situation, stubbornly refusing to acknowledge or appreciate anything positive. Such individuals often require a different approach, one that prioritizes your own well-being and sets healthy boundaries. Their negativity can appear as an unwavering force, a constant barrage that, at times, even begins to permeate the environment, influencing those nearby, and you are not exempt. This situation can evoke feelings of frustration and even discouragement. This is primarily because their disposition frequently diminishes the overall vibrancy of a discussion, the cohesiveness of a team, or even the perceived pleasantness of an entire day. However, there is a crucial point to consider. Stoicism, a philosophical school of thought that has stood the test of time, imparts a valuable lesson. It provides guidance on effectively navigating interactions with individuals whose attitudes are perceived as toxic or unproductive. One of the fundamental tenets of Stoicism, a principle ardently championed by luminaries such as Marcus Aurelius, centers on the idea that our well-being and advancement are fundamentally dependent upon our own internal framework of perceptions and attitudes, rather than external factors that are often beyond our control. Marcus Aurelius, with his characteristic wisdom, proclaimed, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Thus, if an individual's attitude is consistently characterized by negativity, disrespect, or even outright harmfulness, they are not only creating unnecessary obstacles for others, but they are also significantly hindering their own capacity for joy and personal development. They are constructing their own prison. When you approach someone with a calm and gentle demeanor, suggesting that your attitude isn't going to get you very far in life, you are, in essence, offering a Stoic-inspired reflection. This provides them with an opportunity to pause, to introspect, and to reconsider the underlying nature of their own mindset. This gentle nudge, delivered with empathy and understanding, can be a powerful catalyst for positive change, offering a chance for growth and a path towards a more fulfilling existence. Therefore, by employing this approach, you offer not just criticism, but a helping hand towards self-improvement. In light of this, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius and focus on controlling what you can control, your own thoughts and reactions. This isn't intended as a severe censure, but rather a genuine observation, underscoring the fundamental truth that pessimistic dispositions usually beget correspondingly unfavorable results. The Stoics, with their profound wisdom, consistently remind us that our very attitude molds and sculpts our reality. A negative mindset often acts as a barrier, slamming shut doors that positivity, openness, and respectfulness would effortlessly swing wide open. When an individual habitually confronts life through the lens of negativity, they invariably find themselves overlooking golden opportunities, inadvertently pushing away potential allies, and, perhaps most tragically, sabotaging their own advancement. The Stoic philosophy doesn't advocate for harshly judging individuals for this particular pattern of behavior, instead, it champions calmly, making them cognizant of the inevitable ramifications of their chosen mindset. It presents a precious chance to assist them in recognizing that their attitude, more than nearly anything else within their control, is significantly holding them back from achieving their full potential. Consider it from this perspective: each and every negative, disrespectful, or uncooperative attitude invariably generates friction, both within the individual and in their interactions with the external world. Internally, it relentlessly drains the person's own reservoirs of energy and joy, leaving them feeling depleted and discouraged. Externally, it places undue strain on relationships with friends, family, and colleagues, frequently causes misunderstandings and miscommunications, and often pushes away the very individuals who possess the capacity to offer unwavering support or assist them in achieving remarkable success. Thus, a shift towards a more positive and constructive attitude can unlock previously unimagined possibilities and foster a more fulfilling life. By subtly drawing attention to this fact, you are essentially empowering individuals to recognize the power of choice that resides within them. They stand at a crossroads, presented with two distinct paths. They can persist along a trajectory of negativity, a course that unfortunately and almost inevitably culminates in a destination devoid of fulfillment. Alternatively, they possess the capacity to consciously embrace a more constructive and optimistic perspective. This aligns beautifully with the core Stoic tenet of diligently concentrating on elements within their sphere of influence, their thoughts, their perceptions, and, crucially, their actions. Expressing this sentiment with composure and directness simultaneously fortifies your own emotional boundaries. Stoicism imparts the invaluable lesson of shielding our inner tranquility from the corrosive effects of another person's pessimistic disposition. In essence, when you articulate the phrase, "Your attitude isn't going to get you very far in life," you are actively safeguarding your emotional well-being. This is achieved by transparently conveying your awareness of their negativity and your resolute determination to resist being influenced by it or dragged into its vortex. This seemingly straightforward, yet unwavering observation, frequently ignites a process of introspection within the individual. At the very least, it offers undeniable clarity regarding your personal boundaries. It serves as a signal, clearly communicating to the other person that their negativity has not gone unnoticed and that it is, in fact, counterproductive. Thus, you are gently guiding them to perceive the long-term ramifications of their prevailing mindset, all without resorting to attacks or insults. You are offering them an opportunity for self-reflection and potentially, a shift towards a more positive and empowering way of being. With the passage of time, engaging with Stoic principles can ignite profound introspection, potentially spurring individuals to reevaluate their life's direction and their engagements with others. Picture, if you will, those instances when someone endeavors to lure you into a futile dispute or discussion. They might utter a provocative remark, critique something near and dear to your heart, or simply articulate something discourteous with the explicit goal of inciting you. It is undeniably alluring, is it not, to plunge headlong into these skirmishes, to ardently defend yourself or your convictions. However, Stoicism has imparted a valuable lesson regarding such scenarios. A significant portion of these arguments are simply not worthy of initiation, let alone triumph. The Stoics, with their ancient wisdom, underscore that our most invaluable assets are our temporal existence, our focus, and our internal tranquility. These are treasures not to be squandered lightly. Marcus Aurelius, that sagacious Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, astutely observed, "You do not have to transform this into something. It is not obligatory for this to disturb you." This sentiment perfectly encapsulates the rationale behind responding with, "This conversation concluded before it commenced." By uttering such a phrase, you are, in essence, recognizing that not every confrontation merits your energy or reaction, particularly when the other party is not genuinely seeking comprehension but rather discord or validation. You are consciously choosing to preserve your inner peace, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Therefore, the perceived slight, the intended provocation, loses its power. It simply bounces off the shield of your deliberate indifference. This approach, while seemingly simple, requires considerable discipline and a constant awareness of one's emotional state. It's a powerful tool for navigating the often turbulent waters of human interaction. Embracing this Stoic technique allows you to conserve your mental and emotional resources for more meaningful pursuits. Thus, you can focus on what truly matters in your life. When an individual chooses to commence a dialogue or, indeed, a confrontation with blatant disrespect or a palpable sense of negativity, they are, in effect, establishing both the ambience and their underlying objective from the very beginning. They are not approaching the exchange with a spirit of open-mindedness or genuine inquisitiveness. Instead, it becomes evident that their primary aim is to elicit a reaction, to provoke a response. The Stoic approach, therefore, entails a clear recognition of this manipulative intention. It demands a conscious refusal to engage in the negativity, and a calm, yet resolute, withdrawal from the situation before it has the opportunity to intensify or become more volatile. Articulating the sentiment, "This conversation was over before it even started," can, surprisingly, instill a profound sense of personal power and self-respect. This statement is not intended to be dismissive or impolite. Rather, it serves as a straightforward and honest acknowledgement that authentic and meaningful communication is simply not achievable within the present context. It speaks volumes about respecting one's personal boundaries and resolutely declining to squander valuable energy and attention on unproductive negativity. In reality, viewed from a certain angle, this response can be considered one of the most respectful actions one can take. This is because it actively prevents the conversation from descending into a destructive spiral of emotional conflict or outright hostility. From a Stoic viewpoint, your internal well-being, encompassing tranquility, mental clarity, and inner peace, holds significantly greater worth than any fleeting gratification that might be derived from winning an argument or succeeding in proving a particular point. Therefore, prioritizing your mental state is of utmost importance. Protecting it from unnecessary disturbance is an act of self-respect and wisdom. Engaging in fruitless debates, especially those tinged with disrespect, only serves to deplete your inner resources and disrupt your equilibrium. Thus, the Stoic approach advocates for a mindful withdrawal, preserving your peace of mind and refusing to be drawn into unproductive conflict. Stoicism, that venerable philosophy, profoundly encourages us to cultivate mindfulness and exercise deliberate control over the allocation of our precious energy. Consider a scenario: someone attempts to ensnare you within the tangled web of negativity or drag you into the tumultuous waters of conflict. In such instances, the truly Stoic, and indeed, the wisest course of action is to calmly and objectively acknowledge the unfolding situation. Following this acknowledgement, you make a conscious and resolute decision to disengage, to refrain from further participation. This choice, however, offers benefits that extend far beyond the immediate moment. It transmits a powerful and unmistakable message, not only to the instigator but also to all those who observe the interaction. It broadcasts a signal of maturity, radiating emotional intelligence and quiet strength. By steadfastly refusing to participate in needless conflict, you are effectively communicating that you will not permit your emotions to be manipulated nor your valuable time to be squandered. Consequently, over time, individuals around you will begin to recognize that you are not easily provoked, that attempts to rile you will prove futile. This recognition, in itself, serves as a potent deterrent, preventing potential future conflicts from ever taking root and blossoming into full-blown confrontations. It's a subtle but significant form of proactive conflict resolution. However, it is of paramount importance to deliver this message, this act of disengagement, with unwavering composure and profound calmness. The Stoic ideal does not envision utilizing this response aggressively, as a weapon to wound, nor defensively, as a shield against attack. Rather, it advocates for employing it as a gentle, yet firm, assertion of your personal boundaries, and a clear articulation of your deeply held values. Therefore, your ultimate goal should never be to make the other person feel inferior or foolish. The objective is not to belittle or demean. Instead, it is simply to communicate, with clarity and unwavering resolve, that you are fully aware of their underlying intention, and that you are consciously choosing to safeguard your own inner peace, that tranquil sanctuary within. In so doing, you not only protect yourself but also set an example for others, demonstrating the power of self-control and the wisdom of choosing peace. We have all, at some point in our lives, interacted with individuals who freely dispense unasked for counsel, unwelcome critiques, or viewpoints that contribute absolutely nothing of value. Sometimes, this manifests subtly. It might be someone casting doubt upon your professional path, your leisure activities, or your individual fashion sense, all veiled under the pretense of simply trying to assist you. At other times, it takes a far more blatant and disrespectful form, perhaps involving someone openly disregarding your innovative concepts, your deeply held aspirations, or the considerable effort you've poured into a project. Regardless of the manner in which it arrives, this kind of prevailing negativity can be genuinely frustrating. It can even be profoundly hurtful, that is, if we permit it to deeply affect us. However, there is a particularly potent concept that I have absorbed from the teachings of Stoicism. Namely, that the negativity or criticism that we are subjected to by others possesses power, and only possesses power, if we actively choose to grant it such influence.